Good morning. So, I wanted to do a body-mind listening session with you while I am in the middle of changing state. So, if you wake up where you're feeling like, or you're still processing negative thoughts or trying to change your state from a negative state to a positive state, what aspects of changing state is the physical part, not just the mental part. And if you've been in the negative state or woke up in a negative state, especially when you're waking up a lot, or you've been in the, you woke up that way, you tend to be very tense and tight, and you, or maybe if you've just been laying in bed with a negative state, you get very tense and tight, and you're like, ugh. So there's a couple different options you can do. If you're really in a tense, tight state, you raising your hands, like if you'd like to do this with the Tony Robbins priming, he'll do yoga breathing, where he's like, oh, cha, cha, and your idea of like raising your arms over your head is like, no, I don't think so. I'm not lifting my arms out in whatever. And so physical movement can be really hard. So one of the options is where you force yourself to like get up there. And if you're going to do that option where you're going to force it, instead of forcing both limbs and both arms or both legs, just start with one little bit, just one little thing that you decide to move. Okay, maybe you can just do your fingers, okay? And that's about as much you're still stuck in. And then you move your wrist, and then you move your arm, and you hold the rest of it tight. So that's the second thing that I was going to suggest, is that if you're feeling really tense, there's a somatic thing where you can tense even more. So if your muscles are hurting and it hurts to extend, you tighten instead, but tighten it really first. So like what I'm saying, do your fingers. All the rest of it is tight, is hauled in, and you're tight, like hold it in, like really get to the point where you're shaking. Can you see my hand? I don't know if my hand's shaking or not. I guess the camera can't really see it. But it's that idea where you hold everything in so much, your arms in and everything, and you just hold it for as tightly as you can. And so not medium tight where you're like holding in because you're tense and you're stressed, but you're holding it as tight as you possibly can, shaking to the point where it's like you can't hold it in anymore, and you tense up your stomach as much as you can, and you tense up your body. You just tense up your body to the point where it's shaking, kind of like what I was doing when I was hearing about the possible eviction, and I was freaking out, and my whole body was shaking from that because it was tensing up so much that the whole body was shaking, and I was going into shock for about an hour or two or three. But instead of waiting for a psychological reaction in response to something, do a actual somatic controlled pulling in, tensing, shaking your body to the point you're holding your body so tight that you start shaking. And then eventually your muscles get tired and relaxed. Although when you're in a state of shock, I do know that when I was in that state of shock, I don't know if I actually shook for 3 hours, but my muscles were exact, like that's psychologically, I was in such a state of shock that it took me 3 hours before I was so exhausted. And then the rest of the evening, there was nothing I could do because I was so exhausted from that I had to just recover. But on a normal day, when you're not having a instantaneous psychological shock reaction, and it's just you're feeling depressed or anxious, that time you can do the tightening thing. And then you find, okay, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your wrist, extend your hands out, and just you slowly get that arm out and extend out the elbow, and then maybe you can only go down extension, and then you kind of, my hand can see, I'm started slowly raising my arm up. I don't know if the camera is catching this, where you start raising your arm up and you force it. Maybe you can't get quite there, but you you just work on one arm. That's it, just one arm. Really good. And once you get that one arm up, okay, you got that one arm. Now you have a couple of options there. You can switch immediately to the next arm, or you can take this arm and shake it out and like pass the joint. You can have somebody else take your arm and have them shake it out for you. And really, like, you know, especially if you have somebody else do it, really have them just shake. Don't make it so you injure your elbow or your joints or anything, or your arm. But it's just a nice, gentle shaking out so you loosen. This is actually a massage trick or drama trick we did in the drama class before you went on stage. You had somebody shake out all the tension in you, and we'd all took turns, and everybody grabbed in somebody else's arm, and I had a partner, and they would grab the hand and say, okay, just let it fall, let it fall. And amazing how difficult it is for people to let their arm fall when they're tense. But then you just shake it out. Now, if you don't have anybody around, like right now, my family's off in the other room, so I'm just shaking it out myself. I really shake it hard for that. Listen to as many yawns as you freaking can. Stretch out your hand. Stretch out your arm. Okay, let's try the other arm. Now, I noticed that right now, for some reason, because I got my right arm out, my left arm is not having as many issues, and so I'm actually able to move this one. Okay, going straight up is a little bit of an issue. Let's work on that. So maybe you can do little small increments, you know, small jerks out, or just boom, like thrusts. Go boom, 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 boom. Shake it out, never yawn. Get that when you're holding your tension in your face, just breathing and getting that oxygen in, or getting your scalp. You see, you take your fingers and you do this, and you just go in there and you get into the scalp and right back here, right up in here. Oh, it makes sounds. Ooh, ah, eh, oh, e, I, ooh. I heard somewhere that one of the universal sounds to getting what you want is you go hoo with H-U. Hoo. All right, everybody, think of something you want. Hoo. But you know, sometimes it's hard to do the hoo at first. So I was watching this other video about how cleaning out the liver. To clean out the liver, you're supposed to go shh. You're supposed to, alright, just also rub your liver at the same time. Shh. The river is on your right hand bottom rib. I notice the tension in my shoulders get unwound when I do that. My favorite is releasing the tension. You do that when you're sick, when you're feeling sick. Vibrations. That left me exhausted though. All right, let's try another who. Everybody think of something you want. I want $1 million to save our home and be able to do all the projects I want to do. Where instead of going to a rich sugar daddy, which is I'm actually perfectly happy doing if some rich sugar daddy wants to help pay for everything, as long as I get to keep living in our home, get to save our home, get to record everything, and get to stay with my family. I'm perfectly happy with having a sugar. I'm celibate right now, but whatever. I'm going to throw that out there into the universe. If you can buy my house from these people that bought the house from my ex. Okay, I don't really want to start having sex again, but I will if that's what it takes to sacrifice to save the home. The most important thing, my goal, my priority is saving the home right now, getting to stay with my family, and being allowed to record everything. So, yeah. But what I would really also love, which would empower me so much more, is if everybody out there were to actually freaking make it, like if I were to somehow inspire everybody to make a donation to our GoFundMe or our Give, Send, Go donation, that would be so much more empowering for me. And I would be like, wow, I'm actually capable of doing things, because I grew up, sorry, I'm ranting and raving. I'm turning this body mind listening session into a rant and rave about myself. Because there's this frustration that I grew up where I was thinking that I'm supposed to be some housewife that doesn't ever make money and can't ever charge people for my money. And even you, I'm giving you all this free information without charging you for this, just hoping you watch these videos. And I am charging now for body mind listening session. Not that anyone's actually bought one yet, but if you want one, well, actually I used to have clients all the time, but that was back before COVID, when I had the living room all cleaned up and it was all this beautiful space. Right now it's a storage space. I'm going off on this randomly thing, but it's the idea where I used to actually give one-on-one personal clients space, but having people come over is a little bit more of a challenge now because I care for my mom, so I need to do this virtually. So if you want to be one of the first people to do a virtual body mind listening session, we could try it out. Or just hey, do the phone number thing and we'll chat for however long. Although I'd prefer if we did it direct and we set up a Zoom call and you pay me before. But that one I'm only doing for, if you want to set up the Zoom call, you have to buy a high ticket item. You have to buy the $1,000 or more, the $10,000 item, the $10,000 item, or hey, buy the house for life. If you want to have my services for life, you buy the house. Where was I going with all that? I went off on a tangent. Yeah, if I could just be empowered where enough people did the fundraising so that I could feel like even though I'm taking care of Mom 24 hours, 7 days a week and have to be available to her, that I can still inspire you guys to help me save the home. $1. Share this fundraiser. All right, where were we going with this? Can we get back on track? I got back off track. Stay focused. Focus on what you want. I want you to... Okay, yeah, right. Who's. We're going to do who's. What is it you want? Put in the comments below what you want, if you're still listening. Put in the comments what you want down. And then while you're putting that in the freaking comments, we're all going to do a who together. Okay, think of what you want. I want you to put money in our fundraiser. We're going to save our home. So, put what you want and do Alright, please, if you can, please send us some money before the 5th, the next 3 days. But just, if you can, just keep sending money as much as you possibly can to make it so that we don't get evicted, and so that we focus on staying in this house, focusing on staying in this house for the rest of our lives. You focus on your project, what you would like to achieve and succeed at. Maybe one of the things you want to succeed and achieve at is helping with us with our fundraiser. So if you could go out there and make one of the things you focus on doing is helping another family saving their home. So go out, tell people about our fundraiser, and let's do one more who H-U, you are who. You are now touched with magic and shall succeed at whatever you want to do today.